Welcome to Nationalize. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. At the center of a global drama sits the F-35 Lightning II fighter jet, a symbol of cutting-edge technology, ballooning costs, and strained alliances. This aircraft, with its stealth capabilities and advanced avionics, represents the pinnacle of modern military aviation. However, its journey has been anything but smooth, marred by delays, technical issues, and escalating expenses that have tested the patience of many nations involved in its development. Canada now faces a pivotal decision: stick with its multi-billion-dollar F-35 commitment or risk a rift with its closest ally, the United States. The stakes are high, as this decision could influence not only military readiness, but also diplomatic relations and economic ties. The Canadian government is under immense pressure to balance national security needs with fiscal responsibility. The U.S. has warned of serious consequences if Ottawa backs out, tying the deal to broader trade negotiations and alliance commitments. This adds another layer of complexity, as Canada must weigh the potential fallout on its trade agreements and its standing within international alliances like NATO. For Prime Minister Mark Carney, the stakes are enormous, mounting domestic backlash over costs versus the risk of damaging Canada's standing in NORAD and NATO. The public is increasingly vocal about the financial burden, questioning whether the investment in the F-35 is justified given other pressing national needs. The F-35 is more than a procurement. It's a test of loyalty, national security, and economic reality. The decision will have long-term implications, affecting not just military capabilities, but also the broader strategic landscape. For the Royal Canadian Air Force, it's a leap in capability. The F-35 promises to enhance their operational effectiveness and interoperability with allied forces. This could be a game-changer in terms of defense strategy and tactical advantage. For taxpayers, a heavy burden. The financial strain of such a massive investment is a point of contention, with many questioning whether the benefits outweigh the costs. For the U.S., a test of allied resolve. Washington is closely watching Ottawa's decision, as it could set a precedent for other allies considering their own F-35 commitments. With the program already in motion, Canada's next move could redefine its military future and its relationship with the world. The decision will echo through the corridors of power, influencing defense policies and international alliances for years to come. Canada's F-35 journey has been a saga of political reversals, public scrutiny, and shifting priorities. For decades, the question of how to modernize the country's aging fighter fleet has been a lightning rod for controversy, with each new government facing tough choices and intense debate. The story is not just about military hardware, but about national identity, economic interests, and Canada's place on the world stage. As an early partner in the Joint Strike Fighter program, Canada invested heavily, securing jobs and contracts for its aerospace industry. This partnership was seen as a way to keep Canadian technology and expertise at the forefront, while also supporting thousands of skilled workers across the country. The hope was that participation would bring both economic benefits and cutting-edge defense capabilities. Controversy erupted when a previous government tried to buy the jets without competition, sparking a political firestorm and a promise from the next government to look elsewhere. Critics argued that the process lacked transparency and failed to consider alternatives, while supporters insisted the F-35 was the best choice for Canada's needs. The debate quickly became a symbol of broader issues in government procurement and accountability. After years of debate and a competitive process, the F-35 was chosen in 2023 for its capabilities and alliance value. The decision was hailed by some as a long overdue step toward modernizing Canada's Air Force and strengthening ties with key allies. Others, however, remained skeptical, questioning the cost and whether the jet truly met Canada's unique defense requirements. But a new government in 2025, facing economic pressures and a tense U.S. relationship, reopened the review, reigniting old debates. The shifting political landscape and growing concerns about affordability and sovereignty brought the issue back into the spotlight, with renewed calls for transparency and a fresh look at all available options. The review has dragged on, clouding the future of Canada's Air Force modernization. As older jets continue to age and maintenance costs rise, uncertainty looms over the country's ability to defend its airspace and fulfill international commitments. The stakes are high, and the pressure to find a solution grows with each passing year. The fighter jet question remains as politically charged as ever, reflecting deeper questions about Canada's priorities, its alliances, and its vision for the future of national defense. By selecting the F-35, Canada committed to one of its largest military procurements, 88 advanced jets, phased in over a decade. The initial $19 billion price tag covered aircraft, equipment and training, with the first jets arriving in 2028 and full capability by the early 2030s. Canada is already contractually bound for the first 16 jets, funds transferred, production underway, and infrastructure upgrades started. Training slots are booked, and bases are being modernized for the F-35's unique requirements. The program is now deeply embedded in Canada's defense planning. Walking away would mean unraveling years of investment and international coordination. Analysts argue the program has passed the point of no return. The stakes: not just canceling an order, but unwinding a complex multinational defense effort. The U.S. has dropped diplomatic niceties, warning Canada of serious consequences if it scales back its F-35 order. This hardline stance reflects a more transactional U.S. foreign policy, linking defense deals to broader trade disputes. With tariffs and retaliations escalating, the F-35 has become a bargaining chip in a larger economic standoff. The U.S. insists that anything less than 88 jets would undermine NORAD's interoperability and North American security. For Prime Minister Carney, the choice is stark: risk U.S. wrath, or face domestic backlash over costs. The F-35 deal now symbolizes Canada's struggle to balance sovereignty with alliance obligations. The world is watching how Canada navigates this high-stakes dilemma. The F-35's soaring costs, now approaching $28 billion, have ignited a fierce and ongoing debate across Canada. What began as a promise of cutting-edge defense capabilities has become a lightning rod for controversy, as the price tag continues to climb. Inflation, surging global demand for munitions, and increasingly strict U.S. security requirements have all contributed to expenses far beyond what was originally projected. Each new development seems to add another layer of complexity and cost, making it difficult for policymakers to keep up. Critics argue that pouring billions into fighter jets is hard to justify when Canadians face urgent challenges in healthcare, affordable housing, and climate adaptation. Many citizens question whether these funds could be better spent addressing issues that impact their daily lives. Reports of high operating costs and persistent concerns about low readiness rates only deepen public skepticism. Stories of grounded jets and maintenance delays have fueled doubts about whether the investment will deliver the promised security benefits. Supporters point to $1.8 billion in contracts for Canadian firms, highlighting potential economic benefits and job creation. However, critics warn that these gains are far from guaranteed, as they depend on shifting U.S. policies and international market forces. The sheer scale of the F-35 program, and Canada's deep dependency on the U.S. for technology and support, make it a tough sell for a government already under pressure to demonstrate fiscal responsibility and transparency. Ultimately, the F-35 debate is about more than just dollars and cents. It's a question of national priorities, economic sovereignty, and the kind of future Canadians want to build for themselves. As public scrutiny intensifies, the government faces mounting pressure to justify this massive investment, not just to Parliament, but to every Canadian concerned about the nation's future. To break the impasse, Canada is considering a split buy, fulfill its F-35 obligations for 16 jets, then buy a cheaper alternative like the Swedish Gripen. Proponents argue this could save billions and offer operational flexibility, using F-35s for high-end missions and Gripens for routine patrols. Critics, including military leaders, warn a mixed fleet would double training, maintenance, and logistics costs, erasing any savings. The U.S. sees a split buy as a retreat from alliance commitments and a threat to NORAD's seamless operations. Standardization is the F-35 program's core principle. A mixed fleet would undermine interoperability. The split buy, meant as a compromise, risks creating more problems, operationally and diplomatically. Canada must weigh short-term savings against long-term strategic costs. Interoperability is the F-35's greatest strength, designed to share data and coordinate seamlessly with allied forces. For NORAD, this means Canadian and U.S. pilots see the same tactical picture, enabling rapid, unified responses to threats. The F-35 is central to Canada's broader defense modernization, integrating with new radar and maritime patrol systems. Reducing or canceling the F-35 buy would cripple this integrated strategy before it starts. In NATO, the F-35 is becoming the standard, ensuring Canadian forces can deploy, refuel, and repair alongside key allies. Choosing a different jet would isolate Canada within the alliance, reducing its effectiveness and influence. The F-35 is more than a plane. It's Canada's ticket to full participation in allied defense. The choice will shape Canada's role in global security for decades. Experts warn that backing out of the F-35 now would damage Canada's military and international standing. The program is too far along. Training, infrastructure, and software cycles are already aligned with allies. Supporters argue the F-35's advanced capabilities are essential for modern threats and alliance cohesion. Critics fear over-reliance on the U.S., loss of sovereignty, and high maintenance costs. Some suggest Canada should pivot to cheaper, more independent options, citing lessons from recent conflicts and shifting U.S. priorities. The debate is about more than hardware. It's about control, resilience, and the future of Canadian defense. The decision will echo far beyond the Air Force. Canada stands at a crossroads: proceed with the full F-35 buy, cementing its alliance and military modernization, or pull back and risk diplomatic and operational fallout. Commitment means advanced capability and alliance credibility, but at a steep and rising cost. Reversal could ease domestic pressure, but invite U.S. retaliation and weaken Canada's defense posture. The choice falls to Prime Minister Carney and his government, balancing short-term politics against long-term security. This is more than a procurement. It's a test of national identity and strategic direction. The world is watching, and every day of indecision adds uncertainty for Canada's military and allies. The F-35 saga has reached its final critical juncture. What kind of ally does Canada want to be in a turbulent world?